This isn't cool, but it's how I got rich. I'll never forget that day. I was completely burned out, frustrated, and on the verge of quitting. I was juggling a soul-crushing CLT job, grinding through college at night, and pouring every spare second into my online business, desperate to get rich. I'd studied everything: law of attraction, business strategies, you name it. I was sleeping less just to keep up, but nothing was moving forward. Meanwhile, I'd scroll through Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and see kids way younger than me living the life I wanted, like it was effortless. It made me question everything. Was I in the wrong market? Did I make bad choices? Was I just unlucky? Or was the internet a giant scam, with everyone trying to sell me another course? My head was spinning with a million doubts, and I was this close to giving up. I thought, maybe I should just stick to my job. At least I know my career path. I'll make decent money eventually. When I was so demotivated, I could barely stand myself. If you're watching this, I bet you've been there, or you will be. Those moments when you question everything and feel stuck in a loop are universal. That's why this video is hitting you at the perfect time. I'm going to share the raw, uncool truth about what pulled me out of that rut and into the life I live now. It's not pretty, it's not all positive vibes, but it's real. And it's rooted in the psychology of Carl Jung, one of the greatest minds ever. This one shift, this uncool strategy, changed everything for me, and it can for you too. Stick with me to the end, and I'll give you the exact steps to make it happen. That day, I was so fed up that I did what I always do when I need clarity. I went for a walk. No destination, no headphones, just me wandering the streets of São Paulo, observing people soaking in the world. I ended up in Faria Lima, the epicenter of wealth in the city, home to Google, massive financial firms, and the elite. Money lives there. As I walked, I saw this guy, probably in his 40s, sharp suit, dark blue tie, fancy briefcase, radiating, "I'm filthy rich" energy. He was on the phone, heated, laying into someone. As he passed me, I caught a snippet. "I told you, man, stop with the excuses and victim mentality. If you want to get rich, if you want to fix your life, you've got to force yourself to feel the pain of regression." Those words hit me like a freight train. It felt like he was talking to me. I didn't follow him, but I wish I had. Instead, I sat on a bench, pulled out my phone, and started researching pain of regression. That moment was a game changer, a signal from the universe, and it led me to a truth that transformed my life. Carl Jung, who dove deep into the human psyche, would have loved this idea. He said our unconscious mind holds a shadow, a hidden part packed with doubts, fears, and limiting beliefs absorbed from childhood, family, society, and media. That shadow was what had me second-guessing myself, ready to settle for a safe life in my CLT job. Jung's concept of the collective unconscious suggests we're all connected to universal patterns, success, struggle, transformation, that shape our beliefs and actions. My shadow was screaming, "You're not enough. This won't work," keeping me stuck in a cycle of doubt. But Jung also taught individuation, the journey to become your true self by confronting your shadow and breaking free from its grip. The pain of regression is a psychological tool to do just that. It's about deliberately exposing yourself to a better life, a higher standard, so that returning to your old ways feels unbearable. It's not about fake positivity. It's about using discomfort as rocket fuel to propel you toward your goals. This pain of regression aligns with Jung's idea that transformation requires tension. Your shadow thrives in comfort, lulling you into accepting mediocrity. By stepping into a world you're not ready for, you force your unconscious to confront the gap between where you are and where you could be. It's like waking up the archetype of the rebel in your psyche, the part that refuses to settle and demands change. This isn't about chasing fleeting pleasures. It's about rewiring your identity to believe you belong in that better life. Let me break it down with my story. Back then, I ate at the cheapest restaurants near my job on Avenida Paulista. We're talking 20 reais for a meal in grimy spots. Bad service, sticky door handles, the works. I was saving every cent for bills and college, so that was my reality. But after hearing about the pain of regression, I did something wild. I scraped together money I didn't have and went to a fancy restaurant nearby, one where lunch costs 200 reais, totally out of my league. I walked in like I belonged, sat down, and let me tell you, it was a different universe. The waiter knew my name, gave me recommendations, treated me like royalty. I ordered an appetizer, main course, dessert, even a fancy coffee. The food was unreal, 20 times better than the cheap spots. But here's the key. After that, every time I went back to those grimy restaurants, it hurt. I'd think, why am I here? This is awful compared to what I know is possible. That discomfort, that pain of regression, lit a fire in me. It made me furious with my situation, and that anger drove me to work harder, study more, and push my online business forward. Another example, I'd always flown economy. Cheap tickets, cramped seats, no frills. But in that mindset, I booked a business class flight, even though I could barely afford it. My dropshipping business was just starting to gain traction, but I stretched myself to make it happen. The difference was mind-blowing. A lie-flat bed, gourmet food like a 5-star restaurant in the sky. After that, every economy flight felt like torture. My brain screamed, "Why are you back here? You've seen what's possible. Get to work so you don't have to do this again." That's the pain of regression. It's not about the money. It's about tasting a better life and refusing to settle for less. Jung would say this taps into the archetype of the warrior, the universal energy in your unconscious that fights for growth and refuses to stay small. I took it further. I moved to a better apartment, even though the rent was a stretch. The thought of going back to a worse place, smaller, in a rougher area, made me sick. That discomfort kept me grinding. Every successful friend I know has done this. One upgraded to a better apartment despite the cost. Another started dressing like the entrepreneur he wanted to be, even when his bank account didn't match. Another invested in a high-end mentorship program, knowing it would force them to step up. One friend even rented a luxury car for a weekend, just to feel what it's like to drive something elite. The pain of returning to their old beat-up car fueled their hustle. Each time, the pain of going back to their old life, crappy apartments, cheap clothes, limited experiences, pushed them to work harder. It's not a cute strategy. It's not about feeling good or posting inspirational quotes. It's about getting mad. Mad at settling, mad at staying small. Jung said, "There is no coming to consciousness without pain." This pain of regression forces you to confront your shadow, see the gap between where you are and where you could be, and act. Why does this work? Jung's collective unconscious suggests we're all connected to universal patterns. When you taste a better life, you awaken the archetype of the creator, the part of you that builds and innovates. But your shadow fights back, trying to keep you in the familiar. The pain of regression is the tension between these forces. It's your unconscious waking up, demanding change. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself, kicks in when you act on this tension, reinforcing new beliefs about what you deserve. It's not about the money, it's about experiences that shift your identity. When I tasted that better life, I couldn't unsee it. It made me hungrier, more determined, and it rewired my brain to reject mediocrity. Here's how you can apply this, step by step. Expose yourself to the good life. Find one experience outside your current reality, a fancy dinner, a premium service, a better environment. Save up, make it happen, and soak it in. Feel what it's like to live at a higher standard. Feel the pain of regression. When you return to your normal routine, notice how it feels worse now that you know what's possible. Let that discomfort, anger even, fuel your drive. Jung said the shadow thrives in denial. This forces you to face it, channel the warrior. Archetype. Visualize yourself as the person who belongs in that better life. See yourself taking bold actions, studying, building, creating. Tap into the warrior's energy to fight for your goals. Act relentlessly. Use that pain as motivation to work harder. Every small step, learning a skill, tweaking your business, networking, moves you closer. Neuroplasticity means your brain rewires with every action. This isn't pretty. It's not about good vibes only. It's about using pain as a catalyst. Just like Jung said, transformation requires discomfort. When I started this, my online business went from stuck to thriving. I went from cheap lunches and economy flights to a life I couldn't have imagined. It wasn't instant, but it was fast, because I refused to stay comfortable in mediocrity. Here's the challenge. Try this for 30 days. Pick one experience to trigger the pain of regression, a nice restaurant, a better outfit, anything that stretches you. Then let that discomfort push you to act. Hit that subscribe button to stay locked in for more real, no BS strategies, and drop a comment below with the experience you're going to try. Let's inspire each other. As Jung said, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. Feel the pain, fight for your true self, and build the life you deserve. Let's do this.